decided to be a prisoner of the gospel. And that is how he starts in chapter 3 of Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 1, it reads, "For this reason I, Paul, the prisoner of Christ, for you Gentiles." For you Gentiles, it means that he's going out for people. And the theme of the church is, I will go. So just wondering, are you willing to even go are you willing to be in prison like Paul because of this gospel or are you just saying that I will go, but there are places where you have drawn the line that this is where my I will go ends? Because Paul is ready even to go to prison, and while in prison, it doesn't stop there. He still continues with the gospel. Brian, the Mama tells us that, Paul used to persecute Christians, and it is under his leadership that Stephen was stoned to death.
Yeah.
He did nothing about it. So, sometimes we are struggling and people look at us and they're like, this is your karma. I don't know if you've heard the karma gospel. So is he suffering? Is it his karma?
It's payback time.
Is it payback time? Sometimes just speak to someone who's struggling in life right now before they were in the world. I know they have come to Christ and they are being punished in the exact manner they punished someone, because Paul used to throw people into prison. Now he's in prison. Talk to someone like that. Is there the gospel of karma even? What is that? Please talk to us.
The challenge I got from this week's lesson is that the question I was asking myself, what discomfort am I willing to bear for the sake of Christ? What am I willing to go through for the sake of Christ? And Paul, we know his story, after the conversion story from Saul to Paul, the passion that he had of persecuting Christians, thinking that he's serving God. And so he is on the road to Damascus to go and kill Christians. And then what? A blinding light comes, and a voice calls from heaven saying, "Why are you persecuting me?" And from then on, he puts on now a different passion in his life. He takes on a very different passion. He had a passion. He was among the most schooled people. People looked up to him, and he was so learned. And now he takes on another passion in his life that he is so willing to die for it. To the extent that is in prison, is in chains, the physical chains. But when he starts this chapter 3, Ephesians, he says, a prisoner of Jesus Christ. He doesn't say a prisoner of the Romans. No, he says a prisoner of Jesus Christ. So he's overlooking his situation. He's overlooking his circumstances. And that gives encouragement to that missionary somewhere, suffering, sleeping in very, bad circumstances, sometimes even in prison like Paul was. Draw encouragement from Paul that, despite all this, the people he had in mind, the Ephesians he had in mind, would be able to, convert that circumstances, situation, and make him be able to look beyond the ordinary to the end, what reward is coming for him. And that's why, and his fear, the interesting thing is that his fear was like, the Ephesians would be discouraged because of his situation. But on the other hand, he's the one who is worried of those ones who are out. I don't know, sometimes, when you go for mission or go to the hospital, you go there, you think that you are going to pray for that person. You come out of that place, you are the one who has been ministered to.
True.
You have been in such a situation. And Paul, is not worried about that. You would expect him to complain and say, "Hey, I'm here because of you." Now I was preaching to you guys, and that's why I'm in this situation. But he looks at that, all that, for the sake of Christ. I'm willing to go through all this, so that you Gentiles might come to know him.
Amen.
So that you Gentiles might come to know the fellowship and the joy of being with Jesus Christ. That is the challenge that I got in this week's lesson. I asked myself, what level of discomfort? At the slightest discomfort, I draw back. You draw back from ministry. You draw back from working for Christ. But look at Paul, the immense suffering that he went through, but yet still remained steadfast. and the purpose that he wanted to accomplish at the end of it all.
Amen. Amen. Talking of being steadfast, in the same book, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 13, it says that, therefore, I ask that you do not lose heart at my tribulations for you, which is your glory. He's still